In progress here. It seems like Daryl Ayers ensouled something, and it was met with a Reflector Mage. And now you're up to speed.
Yeah, and to me, this looks
real bad.
Real bad for Daryl, right?
Yeah.
If we jump in on turn 3 or turn 4 of a match and he's playing all 1-drops that are artifacts, we expect that there just be dozens of these things on the board.
Here's a Ginger Brute from Ayers. That's going to be met with Spell Queller from Martin Muller. I have to say, I love Spell Queller plus Teferi so much. I think it has room to be a really good strategy in the Pioneer format in particular. I think it's strong enough for Modern, quite frankly. We're still finding the right shell for it here, but I like Martin's approach a lot.
Yeah, I was a little surprised to see Martin only showing up with 2 Teferi Time Ravelers.
Sure.
Such a powerful card.
Martin's the aggressor now, getting to work with Reflector Mage and Spell Queller. Daryl Ayers going to try and attack with a Ginger Brute, but Martin Muller, it's been a while since he had to play around this one. Archangel Avacyn. Ayers says, I need to take a peek at this one. It's been a minute. 4/4 Flying Flash. Does silly things when it flips. Ayers going to go ahead and cash in a Shrapnel Blast to kill Archangel Avacyn. And then Stonecoil Serpent going to come down for Ayers. 3/3 protection from multicolor. Looks good against the creatures on the battlefield. It's got reach as well.
It's good against a ton of things in Muller's deck because you can't Reflector Mage it. They have a tough time attacking through it. You can't Teferi bounce it back to their hand.
Here's a Gideon Ally of Zendikar from Martin Muller. God, so many hits in this deck.
Ooh.
Ayers says, I've got a hit for you. How about Skilled Animator making Stonecoil Serpent now an 8/8? And Ayers looking to bring the trampling beats towards Martin Muller.
Yeah, and this is so big it can roll right over that token. I guess we went beat down towards the face. I would have thought we'd try to get Gideon off of the board there.
It's going to stay. Reflector Mage. Going to go ahead and bounce. Stonecoil Serpent does have trample, right? I'm not losing my mind. Totally possible. Here's a Brazen Borrower bouncing the Stonecoil Serpent. Or is it just reach and protection from multicolor?
We'll double check real quick here.
Okay. Thanks, Craig. I know you got my back. For the time being, it's going to be Brazen Borrowered.
Reach, trample, protection from multicolor.
Okay. Now Martin's life total has been updated. He's at 8.
And again, I was a little surprised Daryl left the Gideon on the board.
I don't know. I mean, something like Shrapnel Blast in hand would certainly make that make sense. Just trying to force through a little bit more damage and end the game.
Sure, yeah. I guess if you're on a line where you're saying...
Serpent's going to come back down. There is that Shrapnel Blast. That's going to kill Gideon.
And Martin's saying Gideon, Emblem to pump my whole team, attack for the W.
Yep.
And I think you're right. I think Daryl had a line set up there where he was saying, I attack for 8 this turn, I attack for 8 next turn, I Shrapnel Blast you to finish off the game.
Right. All right, so that Shrapnel Blast didn't go at Gideon then. Where's the Shrapnel Blast pointed on that last turn?
No, I believe it did go after Gideon.
Okay.
And then Muller had another
Gideon.
Yeah.
Thank you. I missed that. Thank you, Craig, for bringing me up to speed. Why don't we talk about sideboards real quick while players shuffle up here. We'll start on Muller's side. We're looking at a Dovin's Veto, Disdainful Stroke, 3 copies of Solemnity. Get him now, kids. 2 Deputy of Detention, 1 Ether Gust, 2 Surge of Righteousness, 2 Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, and 2 Supreme Verdict. What do you want to do if you're in Martin's side? I'm assuming you just try and control the game, right?
Yeah, so I think what Martin is doing is a good bit more powerful than what his opponent's doing. So he's saying, let me not let the game get too far away from me here. So I really like the 2 Supreme Verdicts. Daryl has to play to the board. And then after that, I think I like the 2 Deputy of Detention as well.
Okay. Meanwhile, over on Daryl Ayers' side, we see 3 copies of the Antiquities War. 1 Mutavault, 2 Blazing Volley, 3 Roast, a Disdainful Stroke, 1 Mystical Dispute, 3 Stubborn Denial, 1 Hangerback Walker. It actually looks like Ayers somewhat prepared for what he expects out of these Azorius Flash decks. I think he's got some good options here.
He does have some good options. The Roast obviously lines up very well against a blue-white deck. To me, the interesting card here is the Antiquities War.
Right.
If you're expecting a bunch of, wraths out of your opponent, This is a card that potentially just circumvents that. You leave a lot of other artifacts on the board, and your Smuggler Copters and your Ghostfire Blades, and you just turn them into big threats in the mid game. So it's going to be interesting to see if Daryl likes that card for this matchup.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clearly his plan against control decks. Unfortunately, Martin Muller's deck sitting somewhere between mid-range and control. He really has to have a read on what he's going to try and do in post-board games to get this one right. Looks like Ayers is going to go ahead and take a mulligan here. Meanwhile, Martin is satisfied with his opening 7. And I have to say, go ahead and take a look on Cardboard Live at Martin's deck. I love 4 copies of Brazen Borrower. I think that card is underappreciated in every format. Standard, Modern, Legacy, quite frankly. It can shine in all those places. We're starting to see more and more of it. I like that Martin just playing the full 4 copies here. I'm so pumped about it, I can't even speak about it.
Look at Martin. Martin, we've got our own clue tokens, man.
And that's too late now. This is a time-shifted match. We can't correct it. Happy to see Autumn's smiling face on the battlefield, though.
Hopefully someone catches it here at some point.
We have Thraben Inspector into Selfless Spirit, Stone Coil Serpents, aplenty on Daryl Ayers' side. 2-2 and a 3-3. It's going to stem the aggression from Muller.
Yeah, and the big thing here is that if he's got that Skilled Animator or that Insult artifact, these Stone Coil Serpents, they keep their +1/+1 counters, so they get real big.
Looks like the Serpent's just going to do a little battling here. Rumbling into the red zone. Selfless Spirit going to hop in front of 1. Just pushes a little bit of damage through. Ayers does have the Antiquity War in hand. Muller going to go ahead and run out Brazen Borrower and look to get aggressive. Not even using the spell mode, that powerful adventure card.
Yeah, and it seemed like Daryl did not want to cast his best card into all the open mana that Martin Muller has. But against an Azorius Flash deck, almost every turn he's going to have all this mana open to him.
That is true.
And I feel like if I'm on Daryl's side, I can't take that extra turn off. I'm just going to fall further and further behind. I have to tap out now, play my Antiquities War, hope that he just doesn't have it, and go from there.
Ayers choosing to play things safely here. It's going to be Smuggler's Copter from Daryl. Follow-up Spires of Industry. Martin going to go ahead and crack that clue. Cycle an Irrigated Farmland. It's like all my best friends are coming back to Magic right now.
Yeah, I love seeing all of these cards. The Thraben Inspector, so exciting, right?
Right.
The Archangel Avacyn, love it.
Yeah, this format's doing it for me, Craig, I gotta say. So Deputy Detention going to come down, eat up that Smuggler's Copter. Brazen Borrower attacks and a Smuggler's Copter on Muller's side, now entering the battlefield. And now, shields down. Ayers able to play the Antiquities War, looks at the top 5 cards of his library, gets to grab an artifact from among them.
Yeah, and I was wrong. He was very patient with this, and he got a window to deploy it while Martin was tapped out.
Yeah, looks like Ghostfire Blade going to be the grab here. Now that happens twice with the Antiquities War. Stage 3, artifacts you control become artifact creatures with base power and toughness 5/5 until end of turn.
Yep.
You see Darksteel Citadel sitting over there.
Yeah, now it's a question of will Daryl live long enough for that to actually happen?
A lot of damage coming through the air right now for Muller between Smuggler's Copter and Brazen Borrower.
Oof, and it looks like, I believe Martin peeled an Archangel Avacyn there.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Well, it's huge here, right? Because, you know, if Daryl wants to try to trade his Stone Coil Serpent with one of these flyers, it's just not going to work out.
Antiquities War going to tick up again. Finds a Bomat Courier. We know, though, Muller with Archangel Avacyn at the ready. This is a dangerous, dangerous turn for Daryl Ayers. Here's a Smuggler's Copter. Follow-up Bomat Courier. Stone Coil Serpent for 1.
And I like this. Daryl has just played this game very well. His starts have not been explosive, but he's been very careful about when he's deployed his spells.
Yep.
And I think, he knows he's got to sit on this Shrapnel Blast just in case there is an Angel.
Yeah, and here comes Archangel Avacyn. And Daryl cannot afford to wait. Going to go ahead and Shrapnel Blast that right now.
Yeah, it's just a question of which artifact he wants to sacrifice.
Smallest Stone Coil Serpent looks to be the choice.
Oh, this is not easy. He really wants that Citadel to turn into a 5/5
right.
indestructible.
It's going to be the Ghost Fire Blade. And now the turn headed back to Martin Muller.
If you have a time extension and do not have a judge on your match, please raise your hand and call for a judge.
Muller's got a Deputy of Attention. Can't go after those Stone Coil Serpents.
Take 5 additional turns from this point.
It's like the Flyers are going to rumble in. I don't know where we lost Daryl's life total along the way. It's low, I'll tell you that.
It's a mystery.
Dangerously low. Just put like a little skull and crossbones in the top left as opposed to a life total.
Yeah, and all of this is so tough because Daryl, he really wants to leave all of these artifacts on the board for when the Antiquities War goes off, but he is just too low in life.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to stay alive. That's priority number 1. And it's going to make this Antiquities War nowhere near as effective. Here's Deputy of Attention on the Antiquities War. Plays Smuggler's Copter, passes the turn back to Ayers. We know Ayers has a Bomat Courier in hand. Tapping 4 mana. Might have found a big draw. Another Antiquities War. Concerned it's going to be too little too late, though, for Ayers. Facing down a Smuggler's Copter. I guess we have Stone Coil Serpent at the ready. Another Stone Coil Serpent, okay.
Yeah, it's tough. He's so pressed for time. He really wants to make a bigger Serpent there.
Right.
But he just doesn't have the life total as a resource to wait.
Yeah, it feels like he needs the blocker, and you can understand why. Here comes Reflector Mage. Bouncing nothing, but going ahead and crewing the Copter. Everything's going to attack. Brazen Borrower is going to bounce the big Stone Coil Serpent. I believe that forces another chump block at this stage.
Yeah, I think the Serpent's going to have to chump block the Copter.
Would love to know that life total, Craig. I really would.
Nope.
No, it's going to take the free block on Deputy. Ayers' life total now, really low.
Lower than it was before.
Yes.
I'm almost certain of it.
Yes. We're going to look into this between rounds, figure out why we're losing the life totals there. There's another Smuggler's Copter. As well as a Bomat Courier. Ayers just trying here.
Yep.
Doing a good job of playing a longer game against this blue-white deck, but has had his back up against it the entire time. Here's another Stone Coil Serpent.
Yeah, and he can only play it for 1 because he wants to leave mana up to activate the Mutavault.
Mutavault, yep. And that tells you just how low his life total is. I would guess 1, probably. Let's see what Muller has here. Selfless Spirit.
But he has to pass, which
Yeah,
means
passes the turn back.
Antiquities War is going to go off.
Okay, Whirler Rogue was the draw.
That is a big
Can we
draw.
do something with that?
Well, I think this is going to allow Daryl to start attacking because this Whirler Rogue is going to make so many creatures.
Huh. Well, this got real interesting, Craig.
Yes. And I think if you're Daryl, yeah, you start with the Whirler Rogue to make sure that it resolves.
Yep.
Because you don't want to attack first and then figure out later that you don't have those blockers.
Right. Have to be a little bit worried about Spell Queller, but it is going to resolve.
And he's dialing up a big attack here.
This is an announcement for invitational players.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's trying to find lethal, but I don't think he's going to be able to put it together.
No, I mean, it's real tough while the Selfless Spirit's on the board because your opponent can just, block everything and sacrifice the Selfless Spirit.
Right.
And you know that this Brazen Borrower is going to come down on the board next turn too. But to start just sending in your 2 5/5 indestructibles is an easy way.
Sure.
Oh, I think he says I'm going to go for it. He's tapping tons of artifacts. He's going to make things unblockable.
This is a really interesting attack from Ayers. Has to get this one right. Of course, Whirler Rogue can tap 2 untapped artifacts you control, and target creature can't be blocked this turn.
So many decisions being made here. And I think Martin's saying, "Hey, man, like you activated your Whirler Rogue. You gave me a chance to respond. I didn't, and now you're trying to back it up."
All right. Yeah, I think we're going to have a look at that, figure out exactly where we are. Yeah, this is a head scratcher of an attack for sure. Everyone.
Well, Daryl's saying that if the only thing you have is that Brazen Borrower, the trample's going to kill you. So he made his 2 Citadels unblockable.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's got 12 trampling points coming over.
So there's 6 going in front of one of the tramplers. And we're going to scoop him up.
Yeah, so Martin lined up a block there. He looted with his copter to see if he was going to draw anything.
No answer on top.
Didn't have it.
Wow, very, very well played from Daryl Ayers.
Super patient, and I was like, I can't believe he's not tapping out for this spell. He's going to be too far behind. No, and then I like that he went for it that last turn. He's saying, I think the coast is clear. The way the game played out, Martin's got nothing left in his hand. I'm going to kill him this turn. I'm not going to give him 1, 2, maybe 3 extra draw steps, depending on how you count the copter.
Right.
Really impressive there.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance either one of us in Daryl's seat loses that game. I think we were both not entirely satisfied with some of the spots he chose, but he played absolutely perfectly. Found the win in the end.
Yeah, it was impressive.
That means we're headed to a deciding game 3 between Daryl Ayers and Martin Muller. Looks like both players keeping 7 here. I'd like to see that for deciding game 3. Ghostfire Blade is the start for Ayers. Has that important Darksteel Citadel. Going to go ahead and Ensoul Artifact on the Blade and start beating down. Deputy Detention, though, coming down and answering.
Yeah, that's tough. It's such a greedy line that Daryl took there.
No, but you understand why. Going to go ahead and animate that Darksteel Citadel.
Yeah, we do understand. We just really want to see Daryl start with a couple of his 1-drop artifacts.
Sure.
That we know are the good spots to be in this deck. Then you can equip them with the Blade. You don't have to get 2 for 1 when they eat your Ensoul artifact.
Yep. Well, here's a Gideon from Martin Muller. That's going to do a good job blunting the attack of that Darksteel Citadel. Ayers plays untapped land. Whirler Rogue again. 2 Nick Millers coming down.
Oh, and it's got to be so frustrating if you're Daryl, where you're saying, I want to be able to make my artifact unblockable, get that Gideon off the board before it does anything else.
No time. And Gideon just going to make more allies.
No time. And, Martin passed with 4 up. We're all scared of the same thing here.
Yeah. 2 copies of Settled Wreckage in Martin's main deck. Don't think Daryl's seen it yet, but he's got it in hand. Remember Settle the Wreckage, Craig. Remember getting just blown out by it.
I mean, there were definitely times where you just attacked with everything, and because, if they get half of your creatures, you're still going to lose the game.
Right. Well, here's Settle the Wreckage. Only going to get the one Darksteel Citadel. I believe that's the only creature attacking. Maybe those Nick Miller tokens are attacking as well, but I would assume they were making Darksteel Citadel unblockable.
Yes.
Shrapnel Blast. Going to go ahead and sacrifice Citadel. And that's going to Muller's face.
Wow.
Follow up Bomat Courier.
That's an aggressive line.
Yes, it is.
But I think, I don't know, it's probably right. Daryl's saying, this attrition game where we play super long, I'm not going to win that game.
Right. Not this time. Has 2 points of damage in the air. No flyers in sight yet. Looks like it's emblem time from Gideon. Everyone's going to get +1/+1. There you see Nick Miller serving as the emblem this time.
And I think a big part of Daryl's decision there to be aggressive was that he has the Whirler Rogue, so he can assure if he animates up anything else,
it'll get through.
He can push it through.
Right.
With Martin at 10, anything turning into a 5/5 is just 2 shots.
Skilled Animator going to make a block here. Thraben Inspector comes down, gets a clue. 3 mana available for Muller. Scary number. Ayers going to tap 3, plays another Skilled Animator, but Muller ready with Spell Queller. Huge play there.
Massive in this situation.
Are going to tap 2 artifacts. Try and force through a little bit of damage here. Whirler Rogue gets him for 2. Muller falls to 8. But this battlefield got real big, real fast for Martin. Cracks the clue.
Whew, Spell Queller. I mean, that was just massive on this board.
Absolutely.
Now, if you're on Martin's side, you're looking to just close this game out as fast as possible.
Yeah, you saw what happened when you gave Daryl a bunch of time last game. Martin doesn't want to find himself in that same boat.
Well, and he's just way ahead right now too, right? Like I'm way ahead. Obviously, I'm not going to make that big mistake where my opponent has, the window of opportunity to kill me.
Yep.
But I do want to finish off this game as fast as possible. I already have the emblem. My creatures are real big. Let's get to attacking here.
He's got 3 creatures in hand, being turned sideways. Ayers just going to take it. Falls to 7, I believe. Takes a draw for the turn. Muller at 8. Can Ayers cobble together these last points of damage?
It's a real tough spot for him.
Invitational competitors, pairings for the next round are now posted online and will be posted on paper momentarily. Once again, invitational pairings are going up.
Ayers going to start with the land. Activates Mutavault. Some more counting. A lot of mathy turns in this Pioneer format. And I think that was just a pass.
Yep.
And Muller's going to slam Archangel Avacyn. Takes his draw. Rounding up the boys right now. Cycle first.
So I think Daryl actually has a pretty good line here where if he has Shrapnel Blast, he can really punk Muller mid-combat, where he says, blow up your Spell Queller, get my Skilled Reanimator back, turn one of my 1/1s into a 5/5.
Okay. Does he have it? Let's see, we're moving to blocks now.
I doubt we're moving to blocks yet. I think Daryl's just doing a lot of math, seeing how he wants to do this.
Sure.
Okay, maybe we are moving the blocks now. Oh, I completely forgot about the emblem.
Does have the shrapnel blast.
And it's not enough.
Yeah, not enough. He's going to push through enough damage, and that means Martin Muller takes down Daryl Ayers by the slimmest of margins, 2-1. Martin Muller joined us over here for the Invitational. Had to win a last chance qualifier to get in. Martin, of course, from Europe, not frequenting the SCG Tour all that regularly, wins, and now 3-0 thus far in the tournament.
And you see all the little pieces of value that he gets out of this deck, whereas his little 1/2 creature gives him the clue that he gets the card back later in the game.